move his minion without losing your own, for example. And same thing with Shamanic Dance. It's give a creature +5 life and taunt. Yes, Dynamo, the game is free to play, but it's not available just yet. It's gonna be coming out on Steam in spring, sometime spring. But today I will also give a key to a random viewer at some point. Okay. So these are just a few cards that are examples. Just because you have a card, you shouldn't necessarily play it, because over time you will just gain more Faria. It won't go away. So if the card you play doesn't have an immediate impact, you probably should not play it. Most minions have an immediate impact because it threatens the enemy that you're gonna collect more Faria, or yeah, just get board presence. So let's see, what else did I have? Okay, so this is just a hand. I took a print screen of it because I absolutely love it, and because I kept my Explore in the beginning of this game, and I have a haste creature, the Ninja Toad. Ninja Toad is a 3 attack, 2 health haste creature with a jump. So, and you can't see it in this picture, but Shifting Tide is a card that allows me to move a land. So what I can do this turn, I can play Explore, play Shifting Tide to move the land that I just played, and then I can place a lake, so I can spawn my Ninja Toad there and jump onto the enemy player. It's really fun, and it's really powerful, and I wouldn't have been able to do this if I had played the Explore card early game, just because I had it. The cool thing about haste creature also is oftentimes you use them to pick off enemy Faria collectors, and or not haste creatures in general, well, whatever. If you play a Ninja Toad at your mana crystal and then you jump towards their mana crystal, you will actually collect 2 Faria and hopefully kill their minion without your minion dying, which means you basically played a Ninja Toad for 1 Faria, which is very, very powerful. The enemy might have cards that take advantage of you having a lot of Faria. Yes, I'm gonna come to that in a little bit, Jin. And I also looked up some more cards that matters in this regard. For example, Crumbling Golem, which is I think it's pretty popular red card. It's a 6/6 creature that only costs 5, so it's pretty strong. But whenever your opponent plays a card, that creature loses 1 health. So that's just another good reason to keep cards in your hand, because sometimes it's just good to play multiple cards in one turn. Aurora's Disciple, whenever you play an event, gain +1/+1. I've seen games where this little creature gets like up to 15 attack. It's really cool and crazy. Snowstorm Lancer is absolutely awesome. Whenever you play an event, it gets +2 attack that turn. So just by playing 3 cards after another, it becomes a 10 damage jumping Toad Warrior. How cool is that? Windstorm Charger, whenever you play an event, gain +2/+0 this turn. Windstorm Archer, whenever you play an event, gain +1/+0 this turn. These are more reasons why you would want to keep cards in your hand unless they make impact while you play them. And then, as JT said, Um, there are also reasons why you would not want to keep cards in your hand. Wavecrafter is probably the biggest culprit here. It says whenever a player passes a turn, set their Feria to 3. So Wavecrafter punishes you for not spending your Feria. You cannot collect Feria, like stockpile your Feria while this creature is in the game. There are other creatures that I think there's only one. I'm not sure about that. It gains attack equal to the opponent's player amount of Feria. So that's another reason why you would maybe not want to keep too many cards in your hand. Both of these cards are blue cards, I'm pretty sure. So it might be that if you play against blue, it's a bit risky. I think that was it for for the images I prepared. I wanted to talk about all the articles, but it's been a bit of a stressful day and I haven't had time to prepare. But I'm going to talk about one more article. It won't be nearly as elaborate. It's called Card Evaluation in Feria. All of these things you can read on playferia.com. I recommend you to do so. They write a lot of cool stuff. Yes, Feria is Mana. So, card evaluation in Feria. Most of the time when you play card games like Magic or Hearthstone and similar games, you look at a card and it can be like a very powerful card, Emrakul, Kel'Thuzad, but you look at it and you go like, I'm not going to be able to get this out in time. By the time I am able to play this card, I will probably be dead, and because of that, those cards are not played. That's not really the case in Feria, because in games like Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering, you are limited by the amount of mana crystals or mana generating lands you have. In Feria, however, you can play a 6-cost card on your second turn, and because your Feria pool grows over time, it makes it a lot easier to play more expensive cards in Feria than in most other card games. So that makes it a lot of fun to build decks in Feria, because you can look at any card and it's not like you think, okay, I'm never gonna be able to play this, because you just have to save Feria for 2-3 turns. 3 turns is maybe a bit much, you're gonna get overrun, but there are ways to help you gain Feria. There are structures, there are certain creatures collect Feria better than other creatures, and so on. So yeah, when you build decks in Feria, you don't really have to worry too much. There are some cards that cost incredibly much, but they are also very powerful. So, and it's fun. It's such a good feeling when you can manage to get these minions out. Oftentimes, if you try to play something similar in Magic the Gathering or in Hearthstone, you have to have a complete deck designed to make you able to play that card. Like you're ramping up to play this expensive card, or you do some other kind of trick to get it into play without actually paying its cost. So yeah, how many people do we have in the chat right now? Is there a way to see? 23. Oh wow. So I think a lot of people in Discord have been asking me to play my 4-color deck, so I'm gonna try to do that. And if I win, how about I give out a game key? This way you will all be rooting for me, and this will actually be the first game of Fairy I play all day today. I've been I just haven't had time, and I just made this deck 10 minutes before the stream started, so I don't really know how it's gonna work, and it will probably need to see a lot of changes, but I'll go through it quickly. So I'm using neutral cards, green cards, blue cards, red cards, and yellow cards. And I love dragons, okay? So this is obviously a dragon deck. And dragons are expensive, so I'm using 3 Triton Sanctuary. It's a structure that whenever I gather Fairy, this creature gains 1 life. And I can, anytime I want, in my turn, choose to destroy this card to gain Fairy equal to the structure's life. Pretty cool card. It's if the opponent can't remove it, it can grow pretty big, pretty quick. I'm using Soul Drain. Deal 2 damage, gain 2 life. It's a very powerful card, and since I'm playing for the late game, I think I need something to just remove like threats early and maybe heal myself back up. I'm using Cartographer because I need a lot of different land, and this one, whenever it dies, I get a ton of lands. So it will save a lot of action for me. I don't have to play special lands all the time. Plague Bearer, never try this card. It's a 3 cost neutral card. It says whenever it dies, deal 2 damage to everything, including myself, my own minions. This, I have no idea how this is gonna work out, but it has cool art, so I go for it. No, but I think a lot of people play rush decks, and this is, I think, a pretty good way to deal with it. And of course, my MVP, Ninja Toad. I love this card, can't live without it. I'll probably splash blue into every deck I ever make to play this card. Unfortunately, it needs 3, or that's probably good, otherwise it would be way too strong. I play a Water Elemental. Not sure if I should, but I am, because it creates an extra leg for me, so I save an action. And it has protection. I love protection. Wood Elemental, same reason, except this is a 2/3 with taunt. But I get the 4th, so I save action. I play Aurora, Mythmaker. Can change another creature's attack and life into 6. Very powerful card. And I absolutely love it if I can do it on something with the protection. And of course, Frogify, transform a creature into 2/2 frog. I use this almost exclusively on the opponent's creature to remove their abilities or last words, and or if they're just very strong in general. Tick Enchantress gain a lot of life. 5 life is no joke, it's actually a lot of life. Ground Shaker. Dan Felder is a big fan of this card. Tells everyone should use it to get rid of those mean collectors, so I'm trying it. It's a pretty good card. It's a 5/6, also it's pretty strong by itself. And Gabriel Noble, I've never tried this card. I might very well cut this card out of the deck later, but I want to try it. And I feel the gift to summon a ruby fish on any tile you want sounds pretty sweet. So I will probably try to use that to gather Fairy on the other side of the board or something like that. Maybe I could do this and then make it a 6/6 with the Aurora Mythmaker. That would be cool. I run Runin the Relentless because it's so powerful. It's an 8 Fairy 6/6, but every time it dies I get it back on my hand. It's reduced cost by 2. Eventually it will cost 0 Fairy, but then if it dies, unfortunately, it will go up to 8 cost again. Ice Rock Behemoth. I don't know if I like this card too much, but I feel like I need some big dudes, and this is indeed a big dude, and the art is really cool. And then I have 1 dragon, 2 dragons, and 4 dragons. So this is